Many cultures have various representations of their society, such as paintings, writing, and music. However, the Anglo-Saxon culture has mainly poetry for its representation. Beowulf, the Wanderer, and the Seafarer are all major parts of poetry from the Anglo-Saxon culture. From these works, we can tell that somewhere in time, the allegiance between a person and their king shifted to their allegiance between them and their god. The importance of comitatus and the influence of religion are important aspects to consider when discovering when and why this took place.
The Anglo-Saxon culture encouraged the tradition of comitatus, with the intention of full allegiance to a leader, which died with the shift of idolization of kings to God when Christianity and Christian values were introduced.
But how does comitatus and religion influence the change? Comitatus is a sacred bond between a warrior and his king or lord. There is a strong sense of loyalty between them. Its origin is from the battlefield because it was believed that without the loyalty, chaos would occur.
In order for the Danes to trust Beowulf and the Coast Guard to allow him into their land, he had to pledge his allegiance to their king, Hrothgar. By pledging his wholehearted help to the Danes as king, the people began to trust and accept his help.
I come to proffer my wholehearted help and counsel. I can show the wise Hrothgar a way to defeat his enemy and find respite, if any respite is to reach him, ever. I can calm the turmoil and terror in his mind. I believe what you have told me, that you are a troop loyal to our king. So come ahead with your arms and your gear, and I will guide you.
The allegiance and loyalty Beowulf promised to Hrothgar and the Danes proved extremely important. This act of comitatus allowed Beowulf and the Geats to be trusted and allowed in Denmark without the Danes fearing an alternative motive.
Beowulf upholds his responsibility that comes with comitatus. With the death of his king, Hardred, the son of his former king, Beowulf, Beowulf must be loyal and kill whoever killed his king. This intense loyalty comes from comitatus, and one could even argue that the clan words originated from this.
In days to come, he contrived to avenge the fall of his prince. The feud was settled on a comfortless campaign when he killed Onela.
The importance of comitatus is proven by Beowulf in this scene because he did not stop until he avenged the death of his king. By killing Onela, he proved his loyalty.
The shift of loyalty from a king to a god has a lot to do with the idea that kings were previously seen as a godly figure. Throughout history and present day, we are able to see the importance of praising a higher power in society.
After noticing Beowulf's struggle in his fight with the dragon, Wiglaf attempts to convince the rest of the warriors to help their king.
In Wiglaf's speech, we are able to see the parallels between God and Beowulf.
And now, although he wanted this challenge to be one he'd face by himself alone, the shepherd of our land, a man unquarreled in the quest for glory and a name for daring, now the day has come when this Lord we serve needs sound men to give him their support. Let us go to him, help our leader through the hot flame and the dread of fire.
God is often referred to as a lord and a shepherd, as Beowulf is in this scene. Wiglaf's idolization of Beowulf gives us insight on how kings were viewed during the Anglo-Saxon culture.
After attempting to encourage the other warriors to join him in helping their king, Wiglaf leaves alone. The importance of comitatus and pagan values begin to be questioned.
They say the noble son of Weshstan saw the king in danger at his side. He left the heat alone.
Wiglaf is obligated to help Beowulf due to comitatus. However, the other warriors do not live up to these expectations, and this shows that the tradition of comitatus is dying.
Despite Wiglaf's assistance in defeating the dragon, Beowulf is fatally wounded. The mighty king dies and leaves his people defenseless and scared.
The great man had breathed his last. Beowulf the king had indeed met with a marvelous death.
The death of Beowulf shows the imperfection of kings. Beowulf provided security and safety to his people, and with his death comes more danger. His people relied on him, and now that he is dead, they look to find a more permanent figure to idolize. This begins the shift to Christian values and the immortal God.
The death of the wanderer's king began a feeling of turmoil and loss for the wanderer. Similar to the people who lost their king in Beowulf, the wanderer feels weak and defenseless after choosing a figure to idolize who could not be there forever.
The dark earth covered my dear lord's face, and I sailed away with sorrowful heart, over wintry seas, seeking a gold lord.
The death of the Wanderer's king caused him to have an existential crisis. The inability to rely on a king caused the Wanderer to begin thinking about searching for a more reliable figure to idolize.
The wanderer struggles to find the importance of the pagan values. He notices the importance of treasures, wealth, and warriors to the pagan culture. However, he fails to see how helpful they can be in a true time of need.
Where now is the warrior? Where is the war horse? Bestowal of treasure and sharing feast. At last, the bright ale cup, the byrnie-clad warrior, the prince in his splendor, those days are long sped.
The wanderer is struggling to hold on to pagan values because he finds them useless. This causes him to begin thinking about a Christian lifestyle.
The wanderer wishes to leave the pagan lifestyle because it left him homeless and defenseless. He leaves to find a more reliable life and a figure to idolize. However, this shift will contribute to the death of Comitatus.
Oft to the wanderer, weary of exile, cometh God's pity, compassionate love, though woefully toiling on wintry seas, with turning oar in the icy wave. Homeless and helpless, he fled from fate.
The wanderer leaves the pagan lifestyle, somewhat worried and disappointed. He wishes he could trust pagan values and stay loyal to his king. However, the death of his previous king left him helpless and scared. This causes him to shift from paganism to Christianity and ignores the previous importance of Comitatus.
The seafarer believes God is greater than any human. He does not agree with the Anglo-Saxon culture's importance of Comitatus and the idolization of a king. God is more reliable and mightier than any king in his eyes. A man must conquer pride, not kill it. Treat all the world as the world deserves, with love or with hate, but never with harm. Fate is stronger and God mightier than any man's mind.
The seafarer attempts to show the importance of God as a figure to idolize. No man or king could live up to God's greatness according to him. This continues to contribute to the death of Comitatus.
The seafarer condemns the Anglo-Saxon culture for focusing on the praise of kings and wealth. He expresses the importance of Christian values and the idea that wealth means nothing to
where life
God.
itself fades quickly into the earth. The wealth of the world never reaches to heaven nor remains.
This furthers the argument to shift from paganism to Christianity and continues to decrease the importance of Comitatus. In the early Anglo-Saxon culture, people honored the death of kings by filling their coffins with treasures. The seafarer condemns them for this because the wealth means nothing to God and he should be their ultimate
Of
focus.
sweetness or sour, feels no pain. A brother opens his palms and pours down gold, strewing his coffin with treasures intended for heaven. But nothing golden shakes the wrath of God.
Honoring a king with treasures and wealth has a lot to do with respect gained from the idea of Comitatus. The seafarer disproves the importance of this because he still believes God's opinion means more. Comitatus and early Germanic values are unimportant to the seafarer and to the Christian culture.
The introduction of Christianity in the Anglo-Saxon culture caused the death of Comitatus with the idolization shift from kings to God. It is interesting how much we can learn of different cultures when we analyze the words of a society. It makes one wonder how society will be seen 1,000 years from now. Will it be the Great Gatsby or the Fault in Our Stars? The world may never know. Beowulf.